this is Michael Buffer, and let's get ready for EJ Boxing Live.
To this day. What's going on, fight fans? It's EJ Boxing Live here. I'm here with my main man on Rival Boxing Talk. I ain't seen him for a while. Come in, Mark. My Rival Boxing Talk. How you been?
Great, man. Great. Enjoying the sport for the ups and downs. Ups and downs, you know yourself.
Yeah. Well, ups and downs is that like the England team losing on penalties. I mean, you can't get more ups and downs than that.
it's been a great. Hey, man, I'm from Ireland. You know that people were celebrating that like they won the Euros. So.
Oh yeah. Oh my. You know what? Yeah, I remember. You know what? Actually, what's up, Jalik? I found that Scotland, when they drew with England, they celebrated. I was like, why? But it's like because Scotland always lose to England, but because they got the draw, it was like, bro, that was like almost like them winning. For England beating Germany, that was like, boy, that was like one of the best things they ever did. But the fact that the way they went out, football is very cruel. It's very cruel. It's very cruel, by the way. Yeah. So Irish people are happy that England didn't win the Euros. Then, yeah.
A lot of them were happy they didn't win the Euros. Of course.
Okay. I didn't know. I don't know that history. I thought, is it Northern Ireland or Ireland? Which one is it? Which one?
Oh, it's both. It's both. Well, you see, in Northern Ireland, like you have Catholics and you have Protestants, and in the Republic of Ireland, you have Catholics. Yeah, the country was war torn for years through England and Ireland, so all the Catholics were pretty much happy.
Well, there you go. All right, let's get into some news because I haven't seen it. There's so much stuff to cover. I'm sure we're gonna try and cover as much as we can, and I hope you guys stay through. Let's talk about, because we were just talking about off air. Tyson Fury, COVID, Beeb. Shout out to Beeb. Ringside Report. You got an interview with Bob Arum. I just listened to a short little bit. Actually, I could play some of it because on Rival hasn't heard it, and I was just listening to it. I'll play a little expert of it. So what we're hearing. Okay, let me play that. Play that right now.
About the postpone.
Okay.
The venue will be the same. There's not going to be any. Tyson Fury doing? Is his health okay? Has he been sick from the virus, or did he just have no symptoms? What is his health status right now?
He got the virus. He had chest congestion. He had symptoms that you get with the corona. When I talked to him yesterday, he seemed to be recovering. But he's in the process, and he's in quarantine now until I think the end of the week.
Now,
well, I'm not really trying to get into that. That bloody volume is so low. It's not even worth. I mean, did you understand? Did you hear any of that Unrival? Because that audio was so low. Yeah, he said he's in quarantine. Quarantine. That's
he's
what
in
I heard.
Quarantine. He's in quarantine, is what he said. He has the virus, all this. But he was stuttering and stuff, like he was trying to think of what's going on. You know what I mean?
Do you believe him?
I believe what you. I believe what I think you believe. He might be in quarantine, but
hanging in his house.
But quarantine. Let's be real. Most of us quarantine, whether there's Rona or no Rona. Anyway, we chill for a few days and we don't go out. That's all.
That's it. Self isolation. That's what he's talking about.
Having a few points at home, is he trying to sort out the problem with the missus after the last few weeks in the tabloids? Maybe.
I think he's homesick because obviously he's having a kid, and the wife goes, "Look, I want you back home," and that's the reason why he said, "Now, bomb, stuff this." I've heard Jaron Anderson knocked him out in sparring. I don't know if that's true or not. And he just had a rough week, and he said, "Now, stuff this. I'm out of here. Make him an excuse for me. I'm going back home." And I think that's what he's gone and done. So that's what they're talking about, quarantine and gone home and whatever. Because really and truly, he just, he wasn't looking in great shape going into the fight. And I think he realized that Wilder, under Malik here, it's gonna be a long fight. He's just gonna have to try and find him. And to do that, you need to be in relatively good shape. And if he got battered in sparring, of course not. I wouldn't go into a fight like that if your confidence was 100%. So he just had a torrid time, and I think he told them not to get stuffed, and I'll come back when I'm ready. He still is the champion. October, they're talking about October. Been in the gym, but 4 weeks. Yeah, notice. Yeah, too short for a fight in December. So, what do you reckon on Rival? October, December. What do you reckon? Brandon Jackson, what's going on, Brandon?
Depends on when he recovers from his COVID, doesn't it? So, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know if it'll happen this year. I don't know if it'll ever happen with Fury. Who knows? He might retire for 2 years.
Everyone's talking about that, actually. Retirement. I didn't even see that. I thought he was so confident. I mean, he outstayed him in the thing. He was talking about, I bashed your trainer's ear, I bashed your ear. I mean, he took Tyson. You see what I'm saying? Well, you know, all that stuff he said, like, what have I forgot? No, he completely bullied him in the press conference to the fact that Wilder looked like he had the headphones on. He didn't want to hear what Fury said. I mean, everything's there for you. And now what you've done, if anything, is shifted the scales, and it's made Wilder more confident. Would you think Wilder will get more confidence from this postponement? Would you reckon?
Probably. It gives Wilder more time. It depends on what Wilder's mindset is, really. Because if his mindset is he actually believes he can win, he can gain confidence. But if he doesn't, he'll probably be dwelling on it longer. So it could be positive or negative depending on what he really believes. You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, that Wilder was getting clowned for the headphones, but Fury, now the backlash has come back on Fury. He's pulling out of fights. He's pulled out of many fights. Unreliable people don't like that. You know, fight fans will support you, but if you're not going to turn up to fight and a credible reason about it's in isolation, Bob Aaron said, I mean, I wasn't trying to listen to the rest of that because the volume was so low. A shame. Shout out for Joe Habib for getting the interview, but you got to sort out the audio when you do these things, man. You got to make it audible.
Yeah, pump him up if he's on speaker. Pump him up as loud as you can, and then boost the volume on the recording. Boost it.
You got to make it legible for people to listen. You can't just, you know, put stuff in it. But shout out to people for getting it on. I didn't need to listen to the rest of it. All I heard is an isolation because I heard his team had it. And let's talk about Joseph Parker. So people saw Joseph Parker. Go on, talk on that one.
Yeah, Joey Parker posted on his own Instagram. It's not even people seeing him. He posted on his own Instagram story of him at the Poirier McGregor fight, but this man allegedly has COVID, right? So, sat there going, hey, yo, Joe Parker, supposedly one of the nice guys, probably one of the worst people in the sport. This dude's mad. I guarantee you, man. This is a ruse, in my opinion. It's an elaborate ruse. It's an elaborate ruse.
It's a ruse. Is it the ruse like Fury vacating the British belt to not fight David Price? Is it a ruse that Fury, his uncle did die and didn't fight Alexander Ustinov? Is it a ruse? What else fights did he pull out? Is there any other fights he
ordered to fight Alexander Povetkin, agreed to it, and then pulled out.
Oh, he did?
That was way back to become mandatory for Klitschko.
Oh, that's bad. So he's been regularly doing this stuff here, Fury.
Don't forget the Chisora second fight as well. That got postponed 3 weeks.
Really? I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Yeah, because it was scheduled for 3 weeks prior. And 3 weeks before that, he said he wouldn't be able to be fully in shape because he's carrying an injury. So they pushed it back an extra 3 weeks, which is kind of fitting because drug testing wasn't to start for another week. So he was able to slip it off, maybe. You know what I mean? That 4 week period.
Oh, the drug testing there. Yeah. Well, you know, I'll tell you what, man. Fury is a thing. I think Wilder might have a bit of encouragement from that, but end of the day, that fight's not happy. That fight's not off. I'm not even, after when a fight's not off, I don't really care. We're talking the right. Well, anyway, Caleb Plant, offering Canelo a free fight deal. Al Heyman's willing to have the PBC and the Zone team up for this mega fight. What do you think about the fight? And what do you think about the fight? And Canelo versus Caleb Plant may happen, may or may not happen. What do you think?
It's not going to happen if that's if Al Heyman stipulating Canelo has to do a 3-fight deal with PBC. It's just not going to happen. Canelo doesn't want that. He doesn't want to curtail to the PBC. As though Al Heyman is his boss. That goes against the idea of Canelo's non-exclusivity deal with a promoter. He could do, but they'll put specific fights in front of him, and he won't be in charge of promotion. And I just don't feel like Canelo wants to enter something like that. he's an A side. For him to get a fight like, and you know how the A sides are, man, the ego. You know this yourself, EJ. They're not going to curtail to anybody. I would love to see the fight happen. I think forcing Canelo to have a 3-fight deal with the PBC is a bit much. I would say it's cool, like if they want to do a co-promotion on the Zone or Fox, or even Canelo goes to Fox, one or the other, for that one fight. But trying to force him into a 3-fight deal when Caleb Plant got 750 grand in his last fight and Canelo got 25 million is a bit mad.
Well, my take is this: Mayweather had a 5-fight deal with Showtime, and if they're gonna give you a look, because listen to this, right? So, they're asking for a 3-fight deal. So you got Caleb Plant, whatever. I don't know who else. Maybe David Benavidez and some other guy, right? And they're gonna give you maybe up to $200 million to do that. Plus you're on Showtime. Plus your Mexican fans can view it on Showtime. And you know the Zone people, if they're on the Zone, they can view it as well. I think you go forward and do that. I think you go for the mega bucks. I think you use both networks. It didn't hurt Mayweather's career doing that in Showtime. Remember, he started off on Showtime as well. So I think you look at the deal and you say, well, boy, I've already got my DAZN deal. And if Al Heyman's going to work with DAZN and DAZN agrees and they've got a 3-fight deal, I think we do it. I think they go ahead and do it. I think it's great for boxing. I think that's what fight fans need. And whether you think about the dictation, I agree with that. But at the same time, you're talking about what are we fighting for? I've already secured myself with DAZN. Now I can get extra money, another 200 mil on top of that on a 3-fight deal against arguably these guys. You can beat Caleb Plant, win or lose, you're getting paid. 100% you're getting paid. You don't have to worry about when your next fight is, because it's all laid out. Mayweather had it. It was fine for Mayweather. Why not Canelo Alvarez? So I think you take the deal, in my opinion. PVC.
Is he being offered? How much is he being?
Yeah, but that's what obviously they're gonna. That's the nature of the thing. They're probably. But if they gave Mayweather 100 mil and Canelo's worth more, I think they could afford it. I think Showtime can afford it, and they'll definitely get their monies back on the pay-per-view. I mean, the Caleb Plant fight maybe not so much, but the Benavidez fight, and which would be a third fight for you? Artur Beterbiev maybe. I don't know. He's not with Al Heyman, but Artur Beterbiev maybe on that contract as well. But I'm just saying.
Well, here's the thing: Canelo has to do 1 million pay-per-view in each one of those for them to be able to pay 200 million.
I think he does. Go ahead.
Him and Caleb Plant. Like, let's put this into perspective. Him and Amir Khan. Amir Khan's a way bigger name than Caleb Plant, right?
It's in America though. It's in America, and the Canelo Alvarez is like the face of boxing right now. So whoever he faces is going to be a mega.
The only person outside of Floyd.
Yeah.
The last time Canelo was able to do 1 million was with Golovkin.
Yeah,
and that's
this is undisputed, right?
It might be undisputed, but I remember.
It's undisputed. That's why it's yeah, go ahead.
Let's go back in time to a point where I mentioned an undisputed fight in terms of promotion. And you turned around to me and said the casuals don't know what the hell that is.
Which fight was that?
It was in regards to the idea of a heavyweight fight. So if I think I was talking about maybe AJ versus Wilder. This is going way back. We had this conversation, and I said, well, if it's the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, you said it doesn't matter about undisputed, like in terms to the casuals, because they don't know what undisputed is. They don't.
I agree with that. But see, with Canelo Alvarez, and the face of boxing with Showtime and DAZN having that on their networks. You got two major networks that are on Fox, I think you look at the numbers. You think about it, right? The fans, remember he's getting paid already with DAZN, right? Now I'm trying to say he's getting extra money with PVC, and that's what I'm saying to you. So I'm saying as him, we're talking about financially. Where else are you gonna make another extra 200 mil? I mean, where you already got a contract with DAZN. You're gonna be fighting these bums because he's got bums lined up. Everyone knows his bums. He's just knocking out. He just beat Billy Joe Saunders. Where are you going? What's your next deal? Where's he going after this? Let's say, okay, don't take it. Where's he going? Tell me where's he going, Mark. What's happening?
I would assume that he'd stay with DAZN.
Yeah,
That's what
okay,
I
okay, yeah, okay, but who's he fighting? Who's he got?
Well, we know that the Zone have a good working relationship with Top Rank. Top Rank aren't making much money off of Artur Beterbiev. If Eddie Hearn came in with like a $6 million, $7 million purse for Artur Beterbiev, we could get that fight. He's got Dimitry Bivol there. So there's that. He's also got Golovkin's on the Zone, so you can get the Golovkin rematch. There's also Andrade who's on the Zone, so you've got the Andrade fight. So I think those are some pretty interesting options considering PBC have what they have. Caleb Plant for the undisputed fight. David
Yes,
Benavidez. Okay.
yes.
And
That's
then
these
they've
are
nothing.
tasty.
And then they've nothing else. What? Charlo?
No, no. But you see the thing is, yeah, maybe a Charlo fight. But listen to this, yeah, that's a good fight as well. Another guy as well. Like, but this is what I'm saying to you. On them fights you're talking about, they're the fights that people actually want to see. So what I'm saying to you is that in terms of you got to look at it like this, right? If you want to continue fighting the subpar competition and you know you're going to win, but these fights there's actually a threat of you actually losing. Maybe not the Caleb Plant, but the Benavidez fight. That's the fight, bro. That's the one that most people want to see him against. Now he's probably going to win these fights though, but it gives an element of he might lose. Can Caleb Plant outbox him? There's elements of he can lose in these fights, and these are the fights that actually people want to see because that's for undisputed first and more foremost. That's all the sanctioning bodies, the networks, everyone's involved. That's a huge mega bout. If you're a boxer, you're looking at the big events, the big lights, and I remember he's got a fight by fight deal with the Zone. That's how he's working right now, fight by fight deal. So a fight by fight deal, it makes sense that Showtime offer him this, and he says, you know what, I might go over there. Yeah, he worked with Eddie Hearn, but the thing is, I think at this point, you don't need Eddie Hearn. You don't have to. Eddie Hearn doesn't have to be involved with you. So that's where the conundrum is. You leave the Zone because remember the Zone offered him that much money. He got out of that contract because Eddie Hearn helped him. So what we're gonna do is do a fight by fight deal. It was really better, and Canelo was so much happier, and he was thankful for Eddie Hearn. But bruv, this is like what a 200. If I'm just speculating, 200 mil on the table. Benavidez, this guy, that guy. You're Eddie Reynoso. 200 mil. What we got? What's the Zone saying? Okay, like you said, them fight 6 mil, another fight 12 mil, but 200 mil on the table straight off in 3 fights. Nah, bruv, I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
But where did this 200 million come from?
Well, the thing first off is undisputed, yeah. First off is undisputed. Benavidez is like the hottest contender. I don't know who the third fight would be, but that's what I'm talking about for undisputed. When it's undisputed, then it's Canelo Alvarez, and you're fighting Caleb Plant.
How much has he been offered in this 3-fight deal?
I'm just speculating. 200 mil is good. I think 200
Yeah,
mil is good.
but we don't know if that's what it is. So we don't know what it is. They could have it based off of like a guarantee of like 25 mil, right? And then some on the back end or whatever. And they could do that because that's what he was getting with the Zone. It's a guarantee.
Yeah, that exactly. But what I'm saying is that with Mayweather ahead, with Mayweather in 6 fights. Remember again, Mayweather in 6 fights, he had it was 100 mil. Now I'm saying like the numbers. When I'm saying that, first off, this is undisputed. That's the first thing. This is why I'm putting them numbers, I kind of come up with a round number. I could have said 100 mil, but it's still more money than the Zone you're making on the Zone and you're on pay-per-view with all your fans. Because remember again, not all of his fans are on the Zone. Not everyone's bought that. But on Showtime, the Showtime definitely going to make their money back on the back end of the pay-per-view. I'll bloody watch that shit.
Well, from what I know, it wouldn't even be Showtime if he's fighting Plant because Plant is exclusively with Fox. So it wouldn't be Showtime, it'd be Fox.
No. Oh, yeah, you're right. Showtime, PVC on Fox. There, you're right. You're absolutely right. But look at how big Fox is on that platform. A Mexican superstar. I think everything. I think I'm Canelo Alvarez. I go ahead and take that fight. Now they're in talks right now, a 3-fight deal. And I think if you're Canelo Alvarez, I think you seriously consider in taking that deal. And you look at the numbers, and they've worked together before. So we know who Al Heyman is. They've worked together. You look at Eddie Hearn. What's Eddie Hearn saying? If you're Eddie Hearn, you're like, because you can go back with the Zone. The Zone ain't saying nothing. Remember, they got you out of that contract you had with De La Hoya. Eddie Hearn helped you get out of that. He gave you Billy Joe Saunders. Thank you very much, Eddie Hearn. But if my goal is to be undisputed, I have to cross over and get that. That's what I'm saying to you. So that's the next step for him. For him and his fans is to be undisputed at that weight class. That's it. Who's calling me? Oh, Steve. 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute. Mark, back in a minute. Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah, what's up, Dan?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, God bless, Dan. How are you?
Hey man, what's going on, Mark? I'm good, man. I'm good. Just,
I'm all,
Talk,
I'm
man.
all good.
Talk. 1 sec. I'm on the phone. Yeah. Mark, talk as well. Yeah.
all right,
Yeah, no worries.
all
Yo, why you guys gone quiet for?
Yo, no,
I
we're
don't
still
think EJ
talking,
can
man.
hear us. I don't
Oh,
think
my
he
volume
can.
down.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, sorry. Carry
All
on.
right.
Carry on. I'll turn my
All right.
volume down. Carry on.
We're currently on Plant and Canelo, right? And the point of topic is, should Canelo curtail to the 3-fight deal being offered to him by the PBC?
You know what? Look, here's the deal. 3 fights is a bit too much. You know, Canelo does not like long-term deals. He does not like them at all. But to be fair, though, he does fight very actively twice a year, so that should be nothing to him. Now, if he doesn't want to agree to that, he doesn't have to. He's within his rights not to. If he doesn't want to agree to it, I would say, you know what? I would like to do a 3-fight deal, but I think that's not feasible for me. So we could do at least a 2-fight deal. You know, kind of negotiate from that standpoint. I think that's something they can compromise to. I think 3 fights is a little too much. I mean, for Canelo, that should be no problem for him. But at the same time, he does have to have leverage. So let him exercise that right. And to me, yeah. So actually, the bottom line is no. I don't think he should do a 3-fight deal. You know, I think it should be a fight by fight basis. But again, if BBC is pushing 3 fights, I think they want to work them to at least 2 fights, so that way at least they can at least get one more fight after the Caleb Plant fight and milk that. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's what their angling is at. Start off with a 3-fight deal because they know that's too much for any fighter to take, especially at the caliber of Canelo Alvarez. But if you can work your way down from there, they can compromise.
I think EJ kind of hit a really good nail on the head. Now, the numbers EJ was speculating at is like a 200 million deal for 3 fights. I think that's a little bit out of the stratosphere, right? But if they can offer him something like 40 million per fight, right? I think it's feasible because I think all they need to do is do 700K on pay-per-view for each of those fights.
Right.
And I think the Benavidez Canelo fight could do $1 million. So that's nearly 1.5 of those Porsches guaranteed. Right. You get what I mean?
Right.
The Plant one, maybe 700K. And then who else? Maybe a Canelo Charlo fight. We know how that rivalry goes on. That could do 800. It could. Right. So they could make a bit of money. But that's the type of stuff I think they'd need to do to get them to do 3 fights. They can't just be like, yeah, for Undisputed, you have to take a 3-fight deal. Like, that's just not going to work. They need to make it worth his while.
Yeah, exactly. You got to make it worth his while. It's kind of like what's in it for me. You got to make it what's in it for me type of thing, you know. But, you know, I lost my train of thought on this one. So my question is this, though. If he decides to agree to it, that wouldn't complicate anything between him and Eddie Hearn, right? Eddie Hearn, he'd still be signed to Matchroom, but on a fight-by-fight basis, or he'll be signed to BBC without any Matchroom representation. So that's one question that needs to be asked. The answer, I should say.
From what I know, Canelo isn't even signed to Matchroom on a fight-by-fight basis. They did that for the 3-fight thing. It was fight to fight. Once the Saunders fight ended, there's an option for Canelo to do promotion with Matchroom, but he doesn't have to take it. There is no exclusivity. None.
Okay.
And that's out of the words of Eddie Hearn specifically. Out of his own mouth.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, fair enough. I think that kind of clears the air on that one. But like I said, though, look, he doesn't have to be pressured to fight the PBC guys. I mean, they got to bring in their own weight, their own worth as well, and they're in no position to play, play games in this negotiations with them. Undoubtedly, the top, boxing cash cow. So you know how that goes. So. I just hope for the best. I do hope they come to an agreement, but at the same time, I wouldn't hold my breath on that because there is, strong indication that there is a high probability this fight doesn't come off between Canelo and Caleb Plant. So, so we'll see how, we'll see what details on further developments, whatever they present. So we'll see on that.
Okay. Now, Dom, what 3 fights? If Canelo agrees to a 3-fight deal, if he does, what 3 fights would you like to see that the PBC could provide for him?
Well, definitely on top of the list is Caleb Plant. That's an undisputed fight. So we haven't had a 168-pound undisputed champion. We never had that in history. So even though it's a young division, but yeah, we never had that. So that would be a milestone. I think that's something that needs to be presented, and I think now it's the time. We're one step away from that. I know Kawasaki could have been the guy, but he opted to give up the belt to fight Miguel Kessler. So I think that was the IBF belt. He gave that up because Carl Froch was the mandatory to that title. So yeah, I think that definitely be number one. Number 2 would definitely be the Charlo fight. I know Charlo will have to go up to 168. I think he needs to because it seems to me that he's training at 160. So he's going to have to go up in weight. But the problem with Charlo is, will his power be effective? Will his durability be compromised? So that's interesting to see right now. As far as the 3rd fight, I know some people are talking about David Benavidez. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would like to see that. Hey, here, I know people are going to laugh at me for saying this, but here's one fight I do want to throw in as a curveball. If not David Benavidez, why not get Badu Jack to go in here and fight Canelo Alvarez? I know. No, I'm serious. I mean, that fight would have to be at light heavyweight because Jack can't make 168 no more. We know that. But if that's the case, that would be an interesting fight.
I don't know. I don't know if that's cool. I don't know if that's like a box office fight, but the Charlo, Benavidez, and Caleb Plant to start off. Caleb Plant for undisputed, and thingy. I think them 3 fights in the Charlo. I think they're all winnable fights for him, but they all have an element of danger. He could lose in it, you know what I mean? And that's the fight fans that for Canelo. And to be fair, that would be the hardest 3 fights that he'd have a fight for years. I mean, he ain't had no back-to-back 3 hard fights for the longest. But if you want that money and you want that reward, if you want to overstay on the zone, keep fighting them pancakes like you've been fighting, then be my guest. But after a while, it's like, boy, you can't go nowhere else. So you're gonna have to see Uncle Al Heyman. By the way, Thingy apologized for his comments. What's his name? Regis Progress, slandering Al Heyman. He's apologized for that.
Yeah, he's another Donna Stevenson. Donna Stevenson did the same shit years ago. And then next, he walked it back real quickly when it got out.
Well, of course, because he was about to get benched.
Yeah, get benched. Yeah. Benched,
And you don't end up like Vanes Monrosian because that's exactly what happened to him. He went out against Al Heyman, and look what Al Heyman did to him.
Yeah, well, and Al Heyman's worse. Al Heyman's worse than them other guys. You can't. There's no conversation. He just cut you like that. Like, you know what I mean? Don't be talking slick behavior. You know what I mean, don't hit bite the hand that feeds you. But moving forward though, I think big fights for Canelo are gonna be good. Rest in peace, Chris Eubank, Sebastian Eubank. They found out I think he had a heart murmur, something to do with a heart stroke. He had a heart problem, something like that. And that's why they found him on the beach, and probably because the heat and all that stuff that affected him. So that was the autopsy by the Dubai toxicologist or whatever, practicologist, whatever you call them. So that's rest in peace, Sebastian Eubank. Other news, I mean, coming up in the boxing. I mean, what we've got here, we've got Jake Paul press conference with Tyron Woodley. I'm not really overly enthusiastic about this fight. It's at this point, it's like, yo, bro, at this point, things are a bit more serious right now, but I don't mind watching it. But it's not really a big. Conor McGregor, the spitting venom, just lost to Dustin Poirier. It's Conor McGregor. I think he might as well find something else to do, man. MMA is not the thing. That ankle injury look horrid. Like, put all that weight on his ankle, twist his ankle. James DeGale lost his gold medal. Apparently, someone stole it. So people say he's stuck in for money, and he reckon it might be insurance fraud. I mean, I tell you, some of the stuff I hear, in boxing, I'm telling you, I feel people are cruel. And what else we got here? So let's talk about the Usyk fight has not been made by Eddie Hearn. For whatever reason, I don't know why. Let's see on Rival. You got any information on Rival on anything like that? What you hear? What are you hearing?
I heard that there will be an announcement in I'm going to crack a joke, but there's going to be an announcement in 2 weeks. Yeah? An announcement in 2 weeks.
Yeah. People, you know, the ones that he's running a joke like Eddie Hearn was saying with Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. The other rifle was funny, you know.
It's not just that. It's not just that. Don't forget. He's been saying this about the Usyk fight for 6 weeks.
Yeah. Eddie Hearn doesn't want that fight, man. I'm convinced of it now. Paulie Malignaggi's going to be fighting a TikToker, the guy who threw powder in the back of his neck. Apparently, he's going to be slapping him up. And they said the winner out of that fight, Conor McGregor said he wants the winner out of that fight. Some of the news I hear in boxing. Canelo Alvarez is back in training, definitely. So he's looking fight Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence. Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence was pretty interesting. Spence said, I'm not listening to Manny Pacquiao. What he does, he says nice things in the press conference, and when you get in a fight with him, he's a complete different animal. I'm not listening to anything he has to say. He goes, least, and then Pacquiao made shots at Floyd. Spence is better than him. At least he'll come to fight, trying to hint that Spence has to come to fight him. Listen to this one. Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. Let me hear this one.
Ano pangalan ko, boss? Thurman.
They say Thurman's a dog.
Thurman!
He's calling his dog. His dog.
I need to know if Pacquiao still has a dog named Thurman. So they're asking him a lot of questions. I'm going to jump in on the session.
That's beautiful, man. But, you know, I need to know, do you still have a dog named Thurman? Is the dog? You still got the dog?
Thurman looks funny without his ponytail, bro. Like, he looks weird. He looks like he's balding. You see? He looks weird. Y'all see that? He look like he's balding, receding. Bro, like, another funny thing about it, he was running from Spence, and now he's sitting on the sidelines. I mean, you can see he's a fire at heart, but trying to be, you know, his team trying to be smart. But, bro, I think he wants the winner of Pacquiao and Thurman and Spence. What do you think? Keith Thurman finally and Spence, man. I don't like his shot. I don't like his shot.
He was talking about a fight with Ugas, actually.
Yeah. Maybe he does that, but I think he, you know, he's there working for Fox. I think he wants to get back in the picture, man. I think he realized trying to play these games like Floyd and trying to stay the A side and not fighting guys. I think when guys do that in the professional game, the only person they hurt is the sport, and they hurt themselves. Because really and truly, there's a lot of fighters these days that seriously, I don't think about them at all. Like, you know, there's no fighter in the modern age that I say, oh, that guy was great. Errol Spence is doing the right thing. He's doing, and so is Terence Crawford. But bro, they got to fight each other, man. They really do. You know, they really do. We've got another one here: Josh Taylor versus Gervonta Davis. That fight ain't gonna happen unless Josh Taylor squeezes himself down to a weight or something like that, or they're gonna have advantage. Because as far as I know, Gervonta Davis is just gonna keep fighting fights that he knows he's gonna win, and Josh Taylor is just gonna stay on his side of the fence and defend his undisputed. So I don't see that fight happening no time soon. Not really. I don't see everyone's playing a game of waiting to see if someone's gonna show some fragility. That's all this is about. That's what boxing's become. Waiting. The Gambosa's fight versus Teofimo Lopez. You know, that fight there, I don't really care about that fight too much. The fact it was cancelled is bad for boxing, you know, because of this covert thing. And go on.
You know, EJ, for everything you're talking about, it's actually really making me sad, because every statement that you're making is coming before us talking about this weekend. We have an undisputed junior middleweight fight.
Oh,
no one's talking. No one's talking.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's give it some light. So is that the Charlo brother, right?
That's Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano on regular Showtime. A junior middleweight, the first chance for an undisputed champion in that division since Winky Roy. The first 4-belt undisputed, the second 4-belt undisputed fight this year. The first time in history where we've had 2 unifications for 4 belts and no one's talking. What do you guys think of that fight?
Oh, wait. I'm going to
I think
it's terrible. Go ahead, Dan.
It's a sad situation on that one, because what's happened is that everyone has been distracted and consumed about the antics that's going on in heavyweight. That's what this is all about. All the antics that's going on in heavyweight, people's focus on that more so than the lower weight divisions. I mean, let's be honest. If you're not named Canelo Alvarez or Manny Pacquiao, then no one's going to pay attention to anyone below heavyweight. I'm just keeping it honest in this day and age. So I think, to your point though, Mark, I think it's criminal that Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez didn't get the recognition and the build-up like they deserved when they're going into their undisputed fight. And it's sad that Jamel is not getting that particular recognition either with Brian Castano. So again, I think it's due to the heavyweight distraction, due to what's going on there. And if you're not Canelo Alvarez and Manny Pacquiao, no one else is going to talk about them. Which is sad. So I think that's just my take on it.
Wow. Well, let me go. Abdul, I've just pulled the fight up. Let's be real. I don't even know who this Brian guy is. Like, this Brian Carlos Castillo. I don't even know who he is.
Oh, he's a good fighter, EJ. He's undefeated.
He's got one draw. But what I'm saying is that in terms of the public, when it comes to these undisputed, it'll help if the public at large knew who he was. Mainly, how many fights he had in America? He's had 3 fights in America. He got 1 draw with Lara. So we got a draw, split decision draw. And other than that, he's basically fights in France, Argentina. Okay, another fight in America, but against Marcus Upshaw. But he hasn't fought no big names all the time in his career. Basically built in Argentina. No big names in America that he's faced at 154. Okay, Wally on number 2, so he beat him in 5 rounds. He beat Patrick Teixeira. But at 154, let me have a look at the world scene. Let me see who they got in the world scene, right? So I'm going to press the rankings on the world scene. So you got the Charlo, Brian Castillo. You got Erickson Lubin, Tim Tszyu, Sergio Garcia, Brian Adams, Austin Trout. The regular, really, it's not a star-studded division in terms of the Charlie. Got Tony Harrison, I got Ted Cheeseman in there. All these names in there. Jeff Horn, Tim Tszyu. That maybe it's the name factor. You know what I mean? This guy is like number 2 in the division. He has the belt. This is for undisputed, but it's not a star-studded division. It's not the middleweight division, like light middle. Winky Wright holding that division down. So did Felix Trinidad, and so did Fernando Vargas. They were like big names in that division. Oscar De La Hoya, he passed through there as well. He was there as well when he beat Fernando Vargas and Ricardo Mayorga. So he's had his big stars in that division. Even Floyd Mayweather touched in that division as well. But at this point, with this guy, this opponent, the reason why probably no one's talking about, because the Charlo, really and truly, the average person know who Charlo is? Not really. And this guy, not really. So the fact that I got caught off blind with this one, that Mark's caught me on this one, that we've got undisputed fight, then it just shows you that, but really and truly, when it comes down to boxing, it's going to be it's names, man. If you're on TV regular, fighting regular, that we actually know who you are, then maybe we can grow some momentum. But there's no momentum behind this guy. And when it comes to the Charlo, both of them look the same. I can't tell one from the other. I'll be honest with you, I can't. So when they're fighting, it's like, okay, who's fighting? Like, which one? Who they fighting? Like, because that's the problem being twins, right? They both dominate their divisions. He's gonna be undisputed, but even when he gets undisputed, so what? But I'll tell you what, if he can fight Tim Tszyu, you know what I mean? That's a great listen. Tim Tszyu, I love to watch that fight right there. And maybe them guys like Austin Trout or Jeff Horn, he's in that division. I mean, he beats these
They're
guys.
not shot.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? Give Ted Cheeseman a shot. Anything to just get American and UK thing popping. You rather than that. Argentina is not popping. It's a football country, man. You know what I'm saying? Erickson Lubin, that fight that's not a tasty fight. So even if he becomes undisputed, the division is Brian Adams, he's already beaten probably. That fight, the division is not a star-studded. That's probably why I didn't even see it on my radar. But I'm definitely gonna watch it. And the undercard, to be fair, I'm looking on the undercard. The undercard is not really a stack thing. I mean, the guy's name on the undercard, Pablo Rubio Jr. Like, I don't even know who these guys are, man. There's like 2 of them was like undefeated. I don't know who these guys are. And that's the thing about boxing. Boxing is a sport that you follow a guy, you watch a guy, oh yeah, I like him. I'm gonna watch him like the guy who fought Charlo, the other guy. Was Montiel. Bro, when Montiel fights again, I'm on it. I'm watching Montiel. And that's what I like. But, hopefully this Argentinian guy can do something. But I feel embarrassed that that I've actually caught off guard that Mark's right, undisputed fight this weekend, and no one even catch it. And I think Josh Taylor, to a certain extent, because of the networks, only the networks not covering it, no one really cared. No one really cared in the UK because Josh Taylor's not with no major network in the UK, and that was a shame. That was a damn shame. I mean, we all watched it, but that was a shame as well. But go ahead, Mark. Give us your take on the thing.
Well, as far as it goes, I do understand that there isn't a lot of people who will know Brian Castano or even Mel that well, but that's where promotion needs to come into it. They put more promotion into Mel versus Jorge Cota than they have into an undisputed fight. They've put nothing into it. It's on regular Showtime, which is great for us. Because if you're just a subscriber, you can just people like Dan can just watch that, it's not on a big pay-per-view for the fans, so it's not like $75. But at the same point, more boxing fans are familiar with who Brian Castano is than who Mario Barrios is. You get what I mean? Nobody knew who the hell that was. Nobody. But Castano, a lot of boxing fans, hardcore boxing fans, will know who he is because they watched that fight with Teixeira. They seen him beat Michel Soro, who's one of the best fighters at 154. Forget BoxRec rankings, man. That dude's probably number 6 or 7 in the division. BoxRec rankings are crap. It's just a computerized algorithm. So that needs to be taken into account. The man got a draw with Erislandy Lara, so there's the Canelo connection. He coming off of a win, Argentina, Brazil. Argentina as well. Like when he fought Teixeira, that was Argentina, Brazil. That was pretty big over there on Golden Boy. They had a huge promotion out of that. I think that was the second most viewed Golden Boy show this year.
Bloody hell, man. I mean, that's
so they need to do promotion on this because this will be a great fight because Castaño's a pressure fighter, EJ. Likes to fight up close in the pocket. He lets his hands go. He's aggressive. He beat Sergey Derevianchenko in the World Series of Boxing. Man beat Michel Soro. He's fast, powerful, got a sturdy chin, been dropped once in his entire career, professional or amateur. Only once.
You say an upset? Call it, because that will put him. If he beats Charlo, that'll get his name out there. What do you reckon? You call it an upset?
I think Charlo in a close points win. I don't know if Castano can stop Charlo, and if it goes to the cards, you got to favor the hometown boy. It's in Texas.
He got to knock him out.
You got to knock him out.
All right.
Charlo's only been dropped once in his whole career against Bellamy.
My man saying Tank is a Showtime star. Tank is definitely a star. It's a star without an opponent. That's what Tank is. That's what I feel like boxing's doing. I mean, the Charlos are doing everything right. They're collecting all the belts and fighting the names. But, the big names don't want to fight them for whatever reason. They should fight the Charlo. The Charlo's actually doing everything right. Tank is another one who needs to fight. He needs to have a more credible names, but he sells out. They guys make money. Let's look at Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso in his camp. If you guys can see in the picture, what's up, Mad Chad? Unrival saying I'm big up to Unrival as well. Dan and well.
God bless Chad.
Chad, if you don't know, make sure you subscribe to Mad Chad Boxing and Sports. Make sure you subscribe. Hey, you guys, give me a thumbs up, man. Give me a thumbs up. Don't mind donations. I appreciate it. A little change will go my way. All right. Oh, Dan the man's hit out. So, all right. So, look at his camp, Eddie Reynoso. He's got Ryan Garcia, Canelo Alvarez. He's got Andy Ruiz, and he's got what's the other guy's name? The lightweight. The one. What's his name again? The one who knocked out Pachel. What's this guy?
Oscar Valdez.
Oscar Valdez. There you go. Oscar Valdez. Yeah, this guy, Eddie Reynoso, has got a serious camp there, man. So Canelo will talk about Charlo. We'll talk about him. We were just talking about him with Caleb Plant and the free fight deal. Ryan Garcia says he's got mental problems. I'm not too sure what's going on there after his good win against Luke Campbell. Oscar Valdez, thank you, AMG too. Oscar Valdez against Bachel. That was a great win. Left hook. Bro, I didn't expect that. And Andrew Ruiz might be fighting. Is he going to be fighting Ariola again? And what's going on there? What's going on?
I have no idea what's going on with Andy Ruiz. No idea. I hope he gets a better fight than a rematch with Ariola. There's no need for the rematch. He won. He got dropped, but he came back and he won.
I think he should fight him again, though. What do you think?
No, man. I'd rather see a fight between Andy Ruiz and Michael Hunter. That's what I'd like to see.
Michael Hunter, the guy who just doesn't turn up. He's unreliable, isn't he?
Well, he pulled out of a fight with Hergovich.
Yeah. I won't try. What about Hergovich and Andy Ruiz? What about that? You like that?
I do like that fight. I do like it, but I don't see Eddie Hearn allowing Hergovich to go over to the BBC.
See, boxing's bullshit. Boxing become bullshit. And see, this is the thing, right? When it was Sky Sports and stuff like that, you just make the fights. Like when it becomes you need to fight on our network and our thing, you're not really a fan of boxing. Bob Arum, maybe no, Don King, he didn't care about that. You wherever the fights were, whichever network you are, you make the fights. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be a case you need to be on my network under my promotional banner for viewing because everyone's greedy about money. The people on top of boxing, they don't care about boxing. They don't care about the sport. They don't care about making the great fights because if you give us the fights we want, everyone gets paid. Stop trying to control people and tell them they need to come to me and be underneath my banner to make the money. I mean that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. I think that's the reason why boxing is what it is. Eddie Hearn, in all the good things he done for boxing, he had more flexibility when he was on Sky Sports, and he wasn't on. You need to fight on Sky Sports to be. I think he was saying that to the UK fighters, but now he's in America. He's telling the people in America we need to fight on my platform to make it in. But Al Heyman's not saying that. Al Heyman's saying, well, boy, we can do a Fox and ESPN fight. They've done it before because Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. So it's happened before. So we can do that. ESPN and Top Rank need to get over with the Crawford. See, if they cross over with that one, then they can make the Crawford and the Errol Spence one, right? Because Bob Arum didn't want to make Pacquiao and Crawford. So these networks need to stop with the bullshit, stop trying to control fighters, and just let the guys fight regardless of networks. Stop trying to, you need to be on the PBC side. Stop it. Stop it.
Well,
just give us the mega fights. Go ahead.
From what I'm hearing, Eddie Hearn's going to try and do a headline show of Jermaine Franklin versus Dillian White in the US. Not in the UK, but in the US. That's going to bomb. That's not going to do numbers. That's going to be bad.
Who's Jermaine Franklin? Who is he? I don't know. Who's that?
He's a prospect at heavyweight.
I don't even know who that guy is, man. So Dillian, see, this is what I'm saying. So Dillian White is continue holding on to the ace. This is what I'm saying about boxing's become. Guys don't want to give up their leverage. That's what it's become. It's become a game of well, I've got my thing. They don't really care. All it is that they feel, and the thing is, whoever's advising these people, there's people don't want to be legends because in the early 2000s, right, around 2000 to up to 2005, Oscar De La Hoya, when they were doing it, right, they had to fight great fighters to get their names out. They had to. That's how you made the money. But these guys ain't even fighting great fighters to, they've had a couple of good fights, but these fights here, they're not doing no boxing justice, man. I wish HBO was back on because I think when HBO, they forced you into making good fights for the fans. They forced you into that situation. Showtime, I don't know if Showtime forces you into making these fights. Fox doesn't do it. And nor does the Zone doesn't really care about making great fights. They just want all the fighters on their side to control boxing. That's what they're trying to do. No one's really trying to make great fights. There's no network here. In my understanding, is trying to make great fights for the fans, memorable fights. Eddie Hearn was doing it in the early days, but somewhere along he's lost that. And then what he's trying to do, he's trying to still in his mind thinking, I need to control America and try to make everyone go on this little app, the Zone. I mean, how's that going, Mark, anyway, with Eddie Hearn? Is it working?
I don't know. I'm not in America.
No, you definitely not. No, Eddie Hearn conquering Eddie Hearn conquering America. How's that going so far?
I don't think he's conquering. I think he's doing well because he is part of the big three. They are putting on lots of cards. They have sold out lots of shows, so they're good at there. But I don't know, they're not ahead of Top Rank. They're not ahead of Top Rank by any means, and they're not ahead of PBC, not yet. I mean, they were for a little bit because they had Canelo, but they don't have Canelo right now. So
no, they don't have it.
Where's their star?
Yeah,
where's their US star?
Yeah, he's a Mexican star, isn't he? Yeah.
Well, even if he's a Mexican star, he's doing 70,000 seats in the United States. You get what I mean? So where's his star at selling? Where's his draw in the US? Where's his United States draw? He needs a US draw. He doesn't have one.
He thought that was Devin Haney, didn't he?
I think he was hoping.
Right, this is bro. I think his matchmaking's. I think their matchmaking's awful, mate. I think keeping Devin Haney away from he's Devin Haney. I think if he fought Luke Campbell, I think Luke Campbell would have beat him. You know, I think Eddie Hearn should have made that fight. When Luke Campbell was there for WBC, he should have made that fight. He didn't. He avoided it. He should have made Luke Campbell go against Devin Haney, and the winner out of that fight Lomachenko. When that would have sold. Devin Haney versus Eddie Hearn had the means to do that. You know, he had the means to do that. He skated away from that, and this is what I'm talking about. He throwed Billy Joe Saunders underneath the bloody bus. That's what he did. Got Billy Joe Saunders paid. I'm gonna get you paid. EJ, you crazy? I'm telling you, he threw Billy Joe Saunders underneath the bus and got him off his thing. He goes, look, you're gonna get paid and you're gonna get off my roster. That's it. You can do what you want after that. And that's what he did. Because if you win the fight, we can talk. If you lose, then I ain't got no time for you. And I think he did a good thing of getting Billy Joe Saunders because he ain't said nothing after that eye injury. And I don't believe that was an eye injury anyway. Do you think he broke his orbital bone?
No, but I really hope he did.
Why do you really hope he did?
Because I hope he was in genuine pain.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would hope that my fellow gypsy brother wouldn't be that much of a pussy to quit over an eye ache and not if it's, you know what I mean?
He's terrible. He's terrible.
If that bone wasn't broke, he's a bitch.
Yeah. It's terrible. It's really he talks a whole heap of smack. That was one of the most pleasurable beatings I've seen this year. But you know, it would have been great if he took that, came back, and gave it a good go in one round. You know, many guys have done that. It would have got a lot of credit. But that many fighters that we love. Yeah, that's why we love certain fighters.
He trashed. He trashed Daniel Dubois, EJ, right? Because he quit Joe Joyce. He trashed him. Daniel Dubois' eye socket was first fractured in the 4th round, and then he got another one in the 7th, right? So, and he fought till the 10th round against 6'6", 255 pounds of the juggernaut. Was getting punched repeatedly in the eye, right? Yep. He fought for 6 rounds with a fractured orbital bone. And then Billy Ho gets hit with one hook, gets hit with one left hook, and immediately, oh no, I can't see. Oh, I can't see.
Oh my God, it was bad.
Deserved it.
And the Ben Davis after that, man, the way they were going on, the whole Ben Davis and Mark Tibbs, bloody hell. I mean, that was drama in itself. I mean, that whole thing. But you know, Daniel Dubois bounced back. He's now with Shane McGuigan. I don't know.
They were trying.
Go on.
They were trying super hard. The Billy Joe's. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? So they were trying really super hard with the Billy Joe Saunders to protect the image of the gypsy, because that's what Tyson Fury's been sold on, right? You'd have to nail gypsies to the ground to beat them. You'd have to kill them. The real fighting man. They're hard man. You know.
Oh man, Mark give me Mark slayed it down, bro. Go ahead, Mark. Took your shit, bro.
I'm just pissed off, man. I'm pissed off. That makes me bro, because I don't like the idea of us like running around saying, because we're from a set of people, it means you'd have to nail us to the ground. That's some bullshit, bro. Doesn't matter where you come from. There's pussies everywhere and there's tough people everywhere, yeah. But they're trying to sell this hard man. Like they're like what? It's not like John Fury walked up on the man and gouged his eyes out, and Billy Joe Saunders is there crying in the corner of the ring. He's there crying for his daddy, and his daddy jumps over to help him. And Tyson Fury's looking at his dad getting absolutely mollywopped. The motherfucker's 6'9", could step over that fence and just knock everybody the hell out. And he's just looking at him like Mad Chad said, like the cowardly lion from the Wizard of Oz. They're a bunch of pussies. And now they're pulling out of fights left, right, and center. I mean, let's be real. Fury, he's over there. He's got COVID, but he's also been wanking 17 times a day. Sure, isn't that how Billy Joe Saunders got injured for the Martin Murray fight the first time around 2 years ago? Before that, didn't he? He broke his hand having a wank, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Fighting men, hard men. But why are these hard men pulling out of fights more than anybody else?
Hey, I got something for you. Let me got something for you. I got something for you. Listen to this. Listen to this one.
You know, as I looked into Deontay Wilder's glossy eyes as my whole entourage and team stood behind me, I realised I was facing a man who was crippled by fear. And I don't blame him, because he's already been beaten twice. The bum dosser was beaten twice. And frankly, I don't think I should even have to fight him a third time, because I already won victorious in the face-off. Didn't want to answer any questions. Scared running from the truth.
Yeah, what's up, respect? You know what? I feel like that whole face-off was a little bit of a from the main event. I didn't like to promote an event with a he said, she said, and
talking like AJ now.
Press conference. You feel where I'm coming from? I prefer my face on the flats and stats to do the talking. But I was like looking at them for a while, thinking, what? I don't know, you gotta look at each other like that before they get a room. You feel where I'm coming from?
Honestly, man, I don't know what to think anymore. That was one of the most fucking intense face-offs that I ever saw in my life. You got two guys that stare at each other, neither of them want to back down. You know, as I looked into Deontay Wilder's glossy eyes,
that guy's he does impressions for a living. You get me? So my man Tony, is it Lampard? Yeah, he does impressions though. That was the impression of Tyson Fury. He's hilarious, bro. He does a real good one as well. I tell you what, the one he does of John Fury is bloody amazing, bro. He's got John. Let me see if he's got on John Fury. Let me see if he's got John Fury down. Let me see.
He ain't got any art.
No, that's the Soprano one. Where's the Tyson Fury one? It's got John.
He ain't a hard man. He ain't hard. They don't want to in with my son. They don't want to be in with my son.
Well, listen, John Fury, yeah, he wanted his son out of there. Look, I don't want him to. He wanted his son out of there. He didn't want his son to fight Tyson Fury, Wilder. He didn't want his son fighting him at all. You know what I mean? He's happy, bloody Tyson, bloody said he's packed it in and cut out. You know what I mean? I can see it, and people. That's why people saying he's gonna bloody retire. Both show the true colors tonight. You know, Manny Yosua says something about big heavyweights. Yeah, some of them are cowardly. I never really got that. Yeah, right. Because how can big men be cowardly? But think about it. If you're 6 foot odd, 6'9", no one's really challenging you. Most people are intimidated because they see your stature. But if you actually roll up on a guy and you actually show no fear, yeah, you know, them big guys are, he actually wants to fight me. Because, yeah, have you ever seen Neil, the security for Matchroom? The big tall
yeah,
he's
a huge
7 foot. Yeah, I was at event, yeah, and the fans started fighting. He looked scared for his life, mate. They were hitting him.
I'll tell you this. One of the main reasons I feel, like, don't forget, it's not that they're big. They do fight for a living, right? But you need to remember, big guys are normally used to being around people smaller than them. So yeah, Tyson Fury's 6'9", but the dudes coming from, they're 6'6", 6'7".
Yes.
6'8".
Yep.
They're not 5'9".
Nope.
They're not 5'9". They're not 6 foot unless they're like Povetkin. You get what I mean? But like, even if they're, let's say they're smaller in height, like a Dillian White who's like 6'4", right? As far as Fury and Joshua go, 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", right? A 6'4" guy like Dillian White, and then you lay Fury down and you put him on his side, and you put Dillian White on his side. Dillian's width is twice as. He's nearly twice. He's built like a shed. Have you ever? Yeah. You've seen Dillian in person, EJ. The dude's one of the widest people you'll ever meet. He literally has to turn sideways to get in through double door buses. You know what I mean? He's huge. I'm a big lad myself. He's massive. He's massively.
You know, when I standing next to Dillian White, yeah, and Dillian White, the thing I'm most impressed about him, and I see about his glove, is his length of his arms and his fists. That's the word, bruv. When Belly mentioned how long his arms are, you'd have to see it, understand it. His arms are so long, right? And he's got a long fist, and I mean, he's big. But when Anthony Joshua, when I stand next to Anthony Joshua, he's bloody mad. And I remember when I stand next to Lennox Lewis, Lennox Lewis, man, and he's shorter than both of them, right? But he's so bloody wide, man. Like he's everything about Lennox Lewis is actually wide, and you realize you're like that's I can see why Roy Jones never fought him. It's like, nah, bomb that.
Well, I tell you what the scariest thing for me was with Lennox, because I've similar dimensions to Lennox in height and everything, 6'5", similar enough reach. And since you've met him, I saw like when I shook his hand, his hand is huge. I felt like a child. I felt like a fucking child. My hand was crushed.
He engulfed your hand. It was absolutely. That's what I'm saying. And you know what? Nassim Hamid, when I shook his hand, I couldn't believe how big his bloody hands were, man. I said he's got hands like brick, and in my mind I was like, blood, him hitting you with them. That guy when he was faster than that, and I said, if he hit you with them bricks, no wonder people getting flattened. He's got the most massive wrist, and his hands are big, you know. And that's the thing. They said Sonny Liston, he had hands like giants, you know. If you ever see a picture of Sonny Liston's hands, that's what Ali said. He said, blood, I didn't want to get hit by them big fists. Because he's like, when you get hit with them, the lights just turn out. The lights just literally turn out in your brain. Is next, you know, you woke up, you know, what happened? Because you got knocked out. That's serious, man. And these are the little dimensions in boxing that we talk about. Otto Wallin, what's going on with him? Apparently they're rumored Otto Wallin's going to be fighting Andy Ruiz. That makes sense. What do you think about that, Mark?
I love the fight. I love that fight. That's a good fight right there.
Good fight, right?
Let's see. Yeah, because Otto, he gave a good account against Fury. Then he beat Brazil pretty handedly. Won pretty much every round on points. So Otto's shown he's above a Brazil. He's below a Fury. So where is he? So he's at least in the top 25, right? Somewhere. We don't know. Andy Ruiz will tell us everything.
Hopefully, yeah. What do you think about James DeGale's MBE gold medal getting stolen? There's someone reckon it's an insurance fraud because he's down on money. What do you reckon?
You know, he took that Chris Eubank fight because he needed one. Remember? That's why he had the Eubank fight instead of a fight with Truax or Uzcategui. There was a lot more money in the Eubank fight. From what I know, the Gales had a pretty heavy gambling problem for a few years. And I wouldn't be surprised. Remember, that's how the whole beef with him and Floyd started to do with the sister, was him trying to compare himself to Floyd with the bets and everything. I wouldn't be surprised if that's an insurance fraud, man. I wouldn't be surprised. Gone missing. He probably sold it to someone for 20 grand and he's going to claim it on insurance.
Yeah, it's a shame he didn't fight George Grove. That was a big fight for him. I think his pride couldn't deal with losing to George Grove. But bloody hell, you lost to Eubank. I mean, which is worse, man? At least the George Grove fight, someone you could have got up for that fight. And this is when he was the champion. He should have made a unification fight. It was more money. It was a big fight. I think they should have fought. You know, it's a shame that fight didn't happen. You know, and this is George.
It was a shame. It was a shame, and he tried to do the whole breaking into America. Now, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but at that time, Andre Ward didn't even break it in America. You get what I mean? So you're a 168 pounder from the UK, but it ain't the welterweight or the heavyweight division. That's the only way you can do that. You don't do it as a 168 pounder. Chill at home. Get the UK domestic scene is popping in that division. Get the George Groves fight. Get a retirement car watch.
But listen to this, both of them came back on the Frank Warren card, right? It was Lee Selby and it was James DeGale. And Eddie Hearn said these guys made the mistake of building their careers in America. So when they was in a press conference, right, I asked the question to the both of them and goes, Eddie Hearn made the comment that both of you guys made a mistake to go to America. You should have stayed over here when you got your world champions and built over here. And both of them heavily denied it. And shortly after that, James DeGale lost to Caleb, where was it? Caleb, whatever was it Truax? I don't know, whatever his name. And then Lee Selby. Lee Selby lost his belt to Josh Warrington when they both came over. But this is the thing, right? If they stayed over here, they would have probably lost against UK guys quicker. You know what I mean? Because they've been to America with all the hype and beating and fighting in America, and they've come to England.
But there was no money for them over there. They didn't make much money over there. The Gale got the same amount of money for fighting Darrell that he got for fighting George Groves at British title level.
But listen to this, right? You know how many fighters, never got the chance to fight in America, and that's what it was. That's a lot of guys' ambition, just to fight in America. They, whether you fight whichever competition, because usually back in the days when you fought in America, it stayed in your mind. Like, when Kell Brook beat Sean Porter at that time, it was the most watched fight at the time. Obviously, Sean Porter's gone on to do things. Kell Brook's declined, but at the time, it was a big thing. So fighting in America as a UK fighter is always someone's dream. So I can see why they went there, but you need the opponent to shine. If you get me, you know what I mean. And James Gill did do that. I mean, he beat bloody Andre. He beat the Jarrell in America. But as time gone on,
But he had a certified all-time classic at 168 with Badu Jack. One of my favorite fights. I love that fight.
That fight was sick. And then he had the one with Butte in it.
Yeah.
But, Carfrot should have took that fight, mate. See, that's another thing. Carfrot should have took James DeGale. You know, they'd beat him now. And Carfrot must have looked at that, and that's another thing as well. You know, Carfrot should say, you know what, I should have took that fight with James DeGale.
Maybe he should have, but let's be real. Froch, he kind of didn't have to. The man owns half of Nottingham. He has a lot of money, and he has a top. You go through Carl Froch's resume, EJ. Go through that. You know what that is. I don't like Carl Froch, but that resume is airtight. That thing is Teflon at 168. He's one of the he has one of the best resumes in 168 history. One of them, not the best, but one of them.
Yeah, brother. Everything apart from Andre Ward is nice, and even the Kessler one, he got the revenge. I thought he won the first fight. To be fair,
He went 1-on-1. He went 1-on-1 with Kessler. I thought the first fight was a draw myself.
I thought he won.
I thought it was a draw, but here's my thing. I thought he lost to Darrell.
Oh, that's what I didn't think he lost to Jarrell. No, I thought he won that. Jarrell was too negative. And you know the funny thing, when I met him, I just told him straight up. I goes, when I interviewed him when I was working for the boxing board, I said, look, mate, I thought you won the fight. I thought you won the case. He goes, you thought it? Because I thought you won that fight. I thought it was because it was where it was. You didn't get the decision, but you beat him in the rematch. And he goes, yeah, thanks for that. I thought I won as well. But I got him in the rematch and this and that. And I goes, I was talking to him about his career. And obviously the Andre Ward fight, you fully thought because I'm black, maybe I'm gonna bet on the Andre Ward fight. I never touched on that. I was just touching on I think we was talking about a fight actually, but Carl Froch, when it comes down to it, he's a man's man. He tells you how it is. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but he'll just tell you how it is. And the King of Nottingham, 100%. He when he was fighting when he was doing his thing, it was good for British boxing. I can tell you that. Under him and Eddie Hearn, they made a lot of money, but it was Barry Hearn who told him to fight George Groves. Now that was a big diversion from what Carl Froch was fighting. I like big names, American names, and Butte and all these names there, but the George Groves fight, Carl Froch, he was never into that, and I think that's after that. You know what? I think they were talking about him and Triple G, or they were talking about him, and he wasn't motivated after that because he didn't want to feel that converse. He nearly lost against bloody George Groves, and I thought after that he said, you know what? I might as well retire, because as you've seen in boxing, it never ends good. If you're on a winning streak, your best bet is to call it a day, mate. Because if you continue fighting, you're going to end up as an opponent. That's how boxing is. And then, as Roy Jones, you go on too far. Let's talk about Callum Johnson versus Anthony Yard. He's called him out. He goes, Callum Johnson said, I'll beat Anthony Yard. He's over on BT Sports. I think Frank Warren probably wants to make that fight. What do you think about that fight?
My clock is going off right now, so sorry about the cuckoo in the background. But yeah, no man, I love the fight. I love the fight. I think it's a great fight at light heavyweight. They're two of the highest ranked in Britain. Two of the highest ranked, not the two highest ranked, but two of the top 10 in Britain. Both guys, when they let their hands go, it's known that they can both crack. Callum Johnson, he dropped Beterbiev. Yard nearly had Kovalev out. Let's make that, man. That thing don't go past 5.
Yeah. Well, you got Callum Johnson winning, yeah?
I don't like how negative Anthony Yard was against Lyndon Arthur, and Callum just is so aggressive. So yeah, Callum. I got Callum.
Yeah. I could see that. Yard looks like at big fights. He looked like you either got it or you ain't, and he never had that in the amateurs. And to me, I don't care what anyone tells me. The amateurs, is a certain level. It's a matchstick of what you're gonna do is in the pros. So if you've never fought no international level in the amateurs, how the heck are you gonna fight when in the world scene? That you come there, you're gonna find a cropper. These are the sort of experience you find in the amateurs, and it can help you in the pros. Fighting all different nations and everything like that. Yard never experienced that. Tunde's boasting that we've done a great job, but what Tunde needs to understand, at some point, I actually posted an interview with him. What's one you need to understand at some point, you need to bring international sparring in for your guy to get better. Sparring, to me, is the key to keep your guy winning world titles, stuff like that, because it gives you a little measuring stick of what's going on. And, you know, if you look at Mike Tyson, when they built him, when he was 8, when he was 16, 17, they bought pros in and they got him ready. And this was, they actually got him ready a year or 2 years before he actually emerged into the pro scene. So, you know, and this is why boxing's about money and investment. Boxing's always going to be a money investment and what you put in. So at this point, Callum Johnson is a serious threat, and he can hit a Yard. I think Yard could outbox him, but I think it'd be an interesting fight. But I it could be close and it could be a split decision. But would Yard take it? I'm not too sure. But they're talking about Frank Warren's actually talking about Yard in a world title fight. Actually, I don't think they want to fight Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon's fight. I saw Lyndon's fight. It was so negative, man. I mean, he won by knockout, but it was so negative. I mean,
that dude wasn't bad though. Like, we didn't know what you know when you have a guy who comes in with a record and we don't know him at all and we don't know who they're fighting against. It doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. They can be, and a lot of the time they are. But that dude fought well, man. I saw some nuances and things that I know you look for. Like when he was stepping through his jab, he was taking his head off center, which which Arthur hasn't had to deal with in a while, because a lot of these British level fighters, they're not getting their head off the line. It's there for you to take all night, right? It's there for you to just touch. Which I'm sure I think I remember you talking about how they're not teaching certain fighters in the UK just the basics, taking their head off center and stuff. So the dude was tricky, but Arthur, yeah, he was a bit negative, but he did get the job done. I wasn't overly impressed, but at the same point, he was an unknown quantity. I looked for fight footage. I found 1 3-minute clip. What did Arthur have to go on? Probably nothing.
Well, the thing is, the guy, the rank. This is what guys do these days. They fight for ranking. They don't really look for the guys to build them to be a world champion. And the old adage was you beat a former world champion to get you ready for these belts. They fight for rankings. They're not fighting to hold the belts. Therefore, when you become a champion, you don't hold. You fight former world champions. And they get them ready for their big night to hold the belt. See, that's the thing about guys getting the belt, holding the belt, fighting names, fighting money, this, that, the other. That's what you should look for. But with the promoters and the people around you, goes, no, you need to get paid. You need to get paid. Somewhere along the line, someone's told you that you need to fight for money. You're not fighting for prestige or fighting great fights like Carl Froch fighting great fight. Carl never told Carl. As soon as Carl took the opportunity to fight Jermaine Taylor, former middleweight champion, so, yeah, well, he's a middleweight. He's a former middleweight. I'm a super middleweight. Good at that. I should be able to stretch him out, and he did. He stretched him out. Stretched Jermaine Taylor in the last round. He was losing on points that fight. Tough fight. 26
seconds to go.
Yes.
Jermaine Taylor was up on all the judges' cards.
Yeah.
I was 26 seconds away from $2,000 that night. And that's why I hate Carl Froch.
Yeah, he got cobraed. And Jermaine Taylor's faded before. He faded before against Kelly Pavlik. And Kelly Pavlik was another good one. But, this... Guys, I can remember all these. Why can I remember all these fights? Who? What? Nah, I can't remember. But the guy I like, yeah. There's a couple of guys. First off is the Montiel fight who fought the Charlo. I like him. And the other Montiel, Mauricio Lara, the one who beat Josh Warrington. What is me? That guy, that fight there was awesome. That is one of the greatest fights I've seen. One of the greatest fights I've seen. That was what do you think of that fight? Was amazing, bro.
He brought it for 2 rounds and then he got one.
Great. It's a great fight, man. And that's you see the thing about them sort of guys. Why them sort of guys after they beat that? Why can't you build 6 months after? That's how.
Yeah, but the problem is that there was a rematch clause, so we're waiting for them to fight in Leeds.
Rematch clause? What? There was no. How's that rematch clause? He vacated the belt. That's madness, isn't it? He vacated the belt. How can there be a rematch clause?
They don't call it rematch room for nothing, bro.
Yeah, man. Eddie Hearn controlled that guy, Lara, stopping that guy. Josh Warrington, Josh Warrington still can't. He still can't get over it. He still can't go over. He lost that fight. He still he don't understand. He goes, that guy's.
Well, they're gonna have the rematch. I think in 3 months. Right? I don't know exactly when. They haven't put in a date, but that's what's been specified roughly in around August to September. When that fight happens, when it happens, I know that you'll be tuning in, and I will be. And the reason we will be, and the reason you will be, is because, like you said, first fight was a barn burner. And like I said, it was an ass whoop. Warrington, did he lose because he underestimated his opponent? Or is this dude a world-class Mexican warrior? It's one or the other.
Well, he's definitely... Well, this is the thing about boxing. This is what I'm saying, Mark, yeah? You can fight guys with the rankings, but they're not the best fighters. There's guys out there are not getting the shot. As you seen with that Lara guy, he was about it. And it didn't matter what Josh Warrington did. He stuffed him in everything. And it goes with that Montiel guy with Charlo. I mean, if Charlo never wasn't fit and wasn't in shape where he was, that guy's beating Charlo. That guy was a hard that was a hard fight, man.
To be honest, that shouldn't have been hard. I don't know what happened.
Why would you say that? Because the guy was...
Because Montiel got knocked out in 2 rounds by Munguia.
Yeah, but Munguia, that was at 154. The man actually...
It was at 147.
Yeah, no, it was on 154. That's what I'm trying to say. So when he lost that 154, they realized that he was stressed that weight. So they put him up into middleweight. So at middleweight, as you can see, he's bloody strong at middleweight, man. So and that's nothing as well. People need to get off this old adage. He got knocked out here, so you should be able to walk over. Who told you that? Who told you that? I don't. You know. Go ahead.
I've watched quite a few of his fights. The lad ain't good. He ain't good. He struggles with a lot of guys.
Tough.
Maybe Charlo at 160 just ain't all that.
No. The kid's good. No. See, the thing is, he come from a fighting family. He's from the Montiel family, right? Fernando Montiel. I know him because I covered his career. And the whole family, the granddad, that's a fighting family, a Mexican fighting family. They come to fight now, Munguia. That's when he said, we're going up. He's nothing special, but what I'm sky is he's there. He's what you call a tough contender. Like if you didn't come to train and you didn't make that fight even better, Charlo had to dig. You show more about Charlo and that guy. Both of them. That's why I said I'm a fan of both of them. And then Mauricio Lara and Josh Warrington. I like that. See the thing about Josh Warrington. The problem with Josh Warrington, he thinks he was a Mexican, isn't it? He thinks he's a Mexican, so he told Eddie Hearn, "Give me a Mexican," right? So they got him a Mexican.
Well, you can't be thinking you're a Mexican when you feather fisted. Those dudes hit you hard.
But that's what I'm saying. Josh Warrington walks around. He got the mentality that he thought he was Ricky Hatton. I'm a hard man. And this, that, the other. But Ricky Hatton, to be fair, he used to place his shots behind the back of the elbow and sit you down. That's what he should have learned instead of trying to war with people. Just throw him random. Even in the amateurs, I teach my fighters, right? You can't throw when you're inside. Don't just throw random punches. Find punches and pick your punches. Yeah. So I told him to shoot the same Ricky Hatton thing. Throw a hook to the elbow, throw a hook behind the back of the elbow, throw it in front, and when their arms come down, shoot up the uppercut like Mickey Ward. I teach them that blatantly in there, and they have to learn that. And on a real, because I realize I'm getting them understanding that you need to be exciting for the fans. Oh, I saw that behind the back of the elbow, boom, bring it up underneath, bring it straight right after that. And you have to teach your fighters that. And also you have to know when you're inside, you're trying. Josh Warrington doesn't understand that. He just throws punches all over the place. No structure. No, nothing. He's not really throwing punches with purpose. And that's the thing. If you look at Mike Tyson and all them guys there, they used to throw, because the thing is, Mike Tyson knew that love could be in, so his best thing is to get him out of there. So he's to know how to get you out of there. That's one thing guys don't learn in the amateur, to know how to place your shots when the guy's hurt. When the guy's hurt, we go behind the back of the arm, behind the rib cage, bring him up behind the back of the elbow, bring his hands down, shoot the uppercut up, straight right, trying to make their fight inciting, trying to stop guys. And that's the thing. Like, I know Mickey Ward and them guys there, he knew, but bloody, they couldn't be hanging around with some of these guys. He had to really stick it on you.
Yeah,
and that's what
100%, man. 100%.
Yeah, and that's what Mr. Lara was about. He was placing them shots, man. He wasn't throwing random shots. He's placing them shots, man. You know what I mean? That shot with Billy Joe's, he got Billy Joe behind the back of the elbow. Then he shot the uppercut, and Billy Joe bent his head down. He shot the uppercut because there was a body shot that Billy Joe was hurt by, and he tried to duck it, and Canelo timed him with the uppercut. I mean, bloody hell, beautiful. Mm-hmm. And Billy was like, bloody hell, that was it. I mean, you see him, he bottled it, man.
Yeah, EJ, by the way, I'm gonna have to drop off in about 2 minutes, but I wanted to ask you, there was a fight announced today between Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Yes, I saw. Yeah, go on.
and he's fighting against you, EJ Boxing Live, Kavaliauskas. Hey, you know, bro. Bro.
Why is who's this now on the rules? Who's Cabalossus? Who's that guy? I don't know who that guy.
That's Mean Machine. Mean Machine.
Who's Mean Machine? Who's that?
Dude who knocked out David Avenetian, dropped Crawford. It wasn't ruled a drop, and lost to Crawford. Solid welterweight, knocked out Michael Zubski, fought for it.
Oh, he sounds solid. He sounds like a solid. That sounds like a great fight right there.
That's a step up right there. That's a step up. Like he fought a 140-pound bar, a guy who's been considered top. Knocked out David Avenetian. We knocked up Josh Kelly, beat Rat Tail Kermit when Peterson still had something. Him, he got a Robinson's hard work for everybody because he's like 18 feet tall with a 200 feet reach and he's a southpaw. But he broke up Josh Kelly, Avenetian, and then Kavaliauskas, he broke up. Like, I'm talking wrecked shop, wrecked Avenetian. So that's who Virgil's fighting. This dude doesn't take a backward step. He's aggressive.
Sounds like a great fight. So who you picking?
Not confident. Like, Virgil's considered a blue chip prospect. He's looked good so far. The win over Martis Hooker, but he did get caught. He did can bang. So can Cavalier.
But listen to this. Virgil Ortiz there's questions about his training because what's the guy who lost to Josh Taylor? What's it, Ramirez? And he's got Virgil Ortiz. They all fight the same. And his style is very worked out. Pressure fighter, put pressure on you and stuff like that. But he didn't look good. Robert Garcia, at some point, your training style, it goes to a certain level. Yeah, they become world champions, but I don't know. Virgil Ortiz didn't look good. I remember they were talking about him and Errol Spence. He used to leave after that fight. He had alone, bro. You know what I mean? So
they were talking about him and Crawford.
That was it. And I was saying to myself, you know what I mean? Forget that. In fact, where's Crawford fighting? Like, yeah, that's a good fight, by the way. I Virgil Ortiz, he'll be in a good war, and I think that's a good fight for him. He doesn't have to look for the guy. The guy's gonna be there. But when's Crawford fighting? Go ahead.
Bob's talking about September to October. A few names were mentioned, but it seems most likely he's going to fight Zepeda, so I don't care.
Zepeda, yeah. That's a fight. I don't really care. No one cares about that.
Well, really. The last Zepeda versus Blanchek was a great fight, right? It was a great fight. But then after that, Zepeda fought Hank Lundy. Bro, you could make a case Zepeda lost to Hank Lundy.
Yeah.
That was a bad fight. Don't watch it if you haven't. Don't watch it. Oh, that was Robert Easter, Francis Bartholomew 2 right there is what that was.
Oh, my gosh, man. Hey, what was the fight on the weekend? It was Fortuna fought on the weekend, right?
Fortuna, Jojo Diaz, yeah. Solid fight.
Yeah, that fight was pretty, that was pretty good. Jojo Diaz scraped through it, man. He scraped through. The scorecards should have been closer than what they were. Was it?
I thought Fortuna nicked it.
Yeah, so did I. I thought he was outboxing him. I don't know what. The zone broadcasts are very biased, aren't they?
Well, it was a Golden Boy show, and JoJo was Golden Boy. Fortuna's not, so I'm not surprised. It's not just the zone. If you're an away fighter on PBC or on ESPN, like it doesn't matter where you go, they're not going to be big enough to challenger. They're always going to be big enough their own. Yeah, that's what it is. Well, I'm looking at Terence Crawford in the rankings right here, and he's the number one welterweight. But bloody hell, Terence, mate, are you gonna fight someone? I mean, you're gonna fight someone worth a sort, man. Let me the WBO rankings. I mean, boxing is it's in a state. I tell you that, mate. It's in a state. Someone needs to grab it by the balls and take over and say, I'm gonna be the face of boxing. Canelo, for all purposes, in terms of money, he might be the money man in the boxing, but you're not the face of the guys who's fighting the guys. I think Lomachenko is trying to be that. I think Lomachenko beats Teofimo Lopez in the rematch. What do you think? I'm in agreement with you. I think he beats everybody at lightweight still. After that performance against Nakatani, the way he came back, I do believe he had an issue with his shoulder, but you saw what he did to that 6 foot huge ass man. He beat it. That was mad. I was scared.
Yes. He looked like bro. I thought Nakatani was, bro, he was that dude. I thought, bro,
you see his neck, bro? It was snapping back like a bobblehead all over the ring.
I didn't know Lomachenko had that much power yet. The thing is, it's funny. So, bro, this guy, you know what? I didn't really give him too much props here, but the Nakatami, I rated Nakatami. I said, beat him up like he was not Nakatami. Like, that guy doesn't deserve being a ring of me. And he's put himself in a position to get his belt back. And I'm looking at Teofimo Lopez, right? And I'm like, the end of that fight, Lomachenko was coming through, and luckily you won. You got the early rounds. But that Teofimo, and even though the Lomachenko was bleeding, let me tell you something. In that rematch there, that's a whole new different fight. So let me tell you that for now. Lomachenko's do. He shouldn't be waiting for Teofimo. He should get another fight on nothing, and then and wait and keep himself busy like he used to, and become the face of boxing. I like the way he conducts himself, because I never did, but now I appreciate how he is, especially when someone loses and how they come back. I always appreciate how he come back, and he is definitely a credit to the sport. And I like what he beat off the not the number one contender. I like Lomachenko, really do, in terms of how
that was it was absolutely one of the best performances this year.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, I still feel, this is just my opinion. People can give me crap if they want. I still got to go. The performance of the year so far was Oscar Valdez over Berchelt, because he beat that boy up. He beat him up, and that was unexpected. Loma, we know what level he is. But and Nakatani's solid, but Berchelt was the reigning champion, a dominant force, a knockout machine, and he got pulverized by Valdez. So he got pulverized.
The thing is, Lomachenko, these are the fights there for Lomachenko, and it's like Lomachenko, Valdez versus Lomachenko would be great. That would be a great fight. Even Berchelt versus options, and I think he should get busy and continue. But when it's all said and done, you look at his resume. That for me, he's getting in the Hall of Fame, man. He can just rest up easy. I think he beats Devin Haney. If it happens, I'll say that right now. Ryan Garcia.
DJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta get myself running, man. I gotta get myself running.
Appreciate it, Mark. You take care, man. We'll talk to you again. Take care.
God bless you, man.
YouTube. Peace. That's Mark Unrivaled, man. Make sure you go over, subscribe to him. If you haven't down, you guys guess we're talking everything in between. I haven't been here for a while, so I thought I'd just mention the numbers. I think Lomachenko sweeps the lightweight division. He beats Ryan Garcia, he beats Devin Haney, and he definitely beats Teofimo Lopez. In my opinion, right now, today, as it stands, I don't think they beat him. Nope, sirree. He's established himself as the number one contender for his belts, and he wants his belts back. He wants to be undisputed, and he gets it back. I think Teofimo going to fight for his life. I don't think Lomachenko's worried about his power. I don't think he's worried about anything. And fighting in Gambosis is not going to get you ready for no Lomachenko, no Maz. What other notable news we have in boxing? There's so much news, so much news. I can't believe we've got Undisputed Championship and I never even covered it. Shame on me. I'm glad Mark, that's why Mark, you bring Mark over to the thing against Brian Castillo, whatever his name is, Argentina. Oh, Paulie Malignaggi, Conor McGregor, I'd fight Conor. I'd fight McGregor, but only if winner takes all. Paulie Malignaggi's funny. That's it really in terms of the news, man. We got the Olympics coming up soon. Coming up very soon, should I say? And see some of the next few amateurs coming through. So we have to have a look at that, and we'll see what's going on. But other than that, in the world of boxing, we have to wait and see what's going on here. What's this here? Crazy, man. Some people ain't got no time, better time than that. So you guys, I'm reading out your comments, and then let me read out your comments though before I bounce out. Bounce out. All right, let me see. What's it? Okay, let me see what's going on. Oh, that's Rakeem Noble. James DeGale. What are you saying about James DeGale? Oh, Garcia would actually. Yeah, he would. He would. I think he beats him though. I'm going to be Fortune Groves elevated matchroom. Yeah, they did. They did. Eddie Hearn, James DeGale, Buddy Jack was going to lose to Groves. Yeah, he did. Close split insurance fraud. Yeah, crazy. I love talking boxing. I love talking about it's in boxing. Mr. Bashir, I know he's on. He want all Mr. Usyk and Joshua. In fact, yeah, let me try and see if I try and get my man Tunde. Tunde. Actually, it's quite late actually for Tunde. Forget that. I won't try that actually. It's a bit too late. Let me try and get. Mr. James Ali Bashir. Let me try and get him. Let me try and get James Ali Bashir. Where are you at, Sonny Jim? Malik Scott. He don't pick up. I try to call Malik. Malik don't pick up. Yeah. Let me see where Malik is. There we go. Here we go. Bashir himself, Bashir. See if he picks up. If he picks up, be good. I always have a conversation. I haven't talked to him for a while, man. Yeah. Busy. It looks like he's not around.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Mr. James Ali Bashir, you're live on the EJ Boxing Live Show. How you doing?
Oh man, right now I'm inside of a hospital. I'll call you. About 45 minutes.
I'm probably gonna be off.
Okay, all right, do that. Out of a hospital, visiting a sick person.
Oh, okay. So you can't really talk, yeah?
Right. Still reach out for you when I get out of here just to see if you're still active.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. We go through to Mr. Bashir, so that's a thing. I'm not gonna call Tunde because it's a bit too late for Tunde. You don't want to call too many people. Malik, pick up. YG Knight. Who else I got here? Prince Charles. Nah, I ain't talked to Charles. Charles Martin. I ain't talked to Charles Martin. I haven't talked to Charles Martin before for a while. Nah, that's about it. So we next time we're gonna do, we'll talk to Mr. Bashir about we're gonna talk to Mr. Bashir about Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua. That's what we're gonna do. So yeah, you guys stay tuned for that one. I'll let you know how that's gonna be because he wants to give his take on that one and why is that fight not being made, man? You know what I mean? Why is Eddie Hearn taking so long? Taking way too long. His speed is incredible. Oh, Usyk, yeah. Malik Wilder doesn't connect, but knock me out, Scott. Yeah, Malik Wilder doesn't connect, but knocks me out. He didn't. You know what? Yeah, that punch never landed on Malik. Malik's funny, bro. When you watch that fight between Wilder and Malik, that fight didn't land. That punch didn't land. Real talk, that punch didn't land. But you know how that is. You know how that is in boxing, you know? People just people fake the funk, boy. They fake the funk. Who else we got here? You know what? If Twitter ever has like phone calls, it'd be popping, you know, like you could put your phone call until I'll be calling everyone, man. I'll be calling everyone out, you know what I mean? Who's this? Okay. I'll be calling everyone out here. But anyway, man, what's this? Nick Diaz, Robbie Lawler, 5. Okay, that's ages ago. No one cares about that fight. What's this guy? CJ. See that good fella. What are you talking about? Kobe Bryant. Okay. All right, that's it. There's nothing else to talk about. We've got big fights coming up this week. So I'm gonna stay tuned, people. Definitely congratulations to Canelo, to Charlo, brother. Hopefully, yeah, it was embarrassing. For real, it was embarrassing. I ain't gonna lie, it was that fight between Wilder and Malik, and it was Malik. I mean, this guy is talking whole reckless. I don't know what's getting in the heavyweight. I don't care about the heavyweights no more. Happening. Alex Joshua, what Fury's not happening. Wilder, Fury ain't happening. I don't care. Dillian White, I don't know who he's fighting. Now, what do I care? You know, what do I care? Actually, let me just. I was gonna go, but I can't help it, man. Let me have a look. Let me have a look at the bloody thing. Bob Arum talking to Joe Habib. Go check it out on Ringside Report. Let's type that in on YouTube and you can listen to the interview. The audio is pretty bad, Joe, by the way. Okay, what fights we got coming up? Okay, we got the Charlo brother, Robert Helenius versus Thomas Adamick. That's a good fight. That's July the 24th. There's Efe Ajagba versus Frank Sanchez. I don't really care about that fight. Joe Joyce versus Carlos Takam in London. That's an interesting fight, isn't it? I don't really care. Carlos Takam ain't winning that fight. Joe Joyce gonna beat him to pillar to post. That fight be done in 3 rounds. I don't know who that is. Now we're in August now. Michael Conlan's fighting in Belfast. I know they got fights in Belfast finally. Kate Gatland versus Jamie Dickerson, whatever you want to say. What else we got here? Teofimo Lopez, George Campos. That's in August. Joe Real Casimiro versus Guillermo Rigondeaux. That fight, I've been looking forward to that fight in Showtime. That's a great fight. How old is Rigondeaux now, man? Rigondeaux's getting old now, isn't it? You know what I mean? He's getting old now, isn't he? Me how old Rigondeaux is, man. Rigondeaux's amazing, bro. You know what I mean? Casemiro is going to be rolling up on him. It's amazing. He's 40. My God. He's 5'7". I didn't know he was that tall, you know. Maybe short. He looks shorter than that. He's 40 years of age. The last time he fought was in 2000, February 2000. So he's out the ring over a year. That's a long time out the ring, bro. I remember it was a PVC card that fight that day. What day was that? That was the Errol Spence, right? Nah. Gary Allen Russell Jr. Okay. He was on that card. That's the last time he fought. My gosh, man. Rigo, you've been out the ring too long, man. 40, bro. Your reflex might have slowed, man. And Casemiro's he's 32. That's like what, 8 years difference. Come on, but he's shorter. Casemiro's lost before. He's been stopped before. When did he got stopped? Who stopped him? Who stopped the great Casemiro? Oh, it's Mauricio Moretti. Okay, the African dude stopped him. See, so he has been stopped before. So, hey, Rigo can punch, you know. What weight they fighting at? Bantamweight. Okay. Well, we'll see. We will see. That's a fight I'm looking for. I'm marking that one down on my date on the calendar. Joshua Boatsy fighting some Callis Reeds. Nobody care about that fight. Oh god, the calendar gets thin. Okay, August the 21st. Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence. Looking forward to that. David Benavidez versus Jose Ocastes. I like that fight. That's a good competitive fight for David Benavidez. That's a very comfortable. But Oscar Valdez hasn't got an opponent yet. Or Steve Thornton Jr. versus Brandon Figueroa. Woo! I like that one. To be announced soon on Showtime. September they're looking at. I like that one. And then Joshua versus Anadolu Usyk, September. They maybe mark that in for September. So that'll be in the UK. It'll be in Tottenham. I might go see that live. Man. Joshua belts might be last time he has the belts. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. Hope you, if you haven't subbed, make sure you sub. Give them a thumbs up. And I will play you out with Eddie Hearn. Hopefully this goes through, actually. I'll play you out with my man, Eddie Hearn, giving his word about British boxing. Peace.
Message to all the fans watching it, wish them a Merry Christmas, and also why should they watch the fight?
You should watch this fight because this is what boxing's all about. This is about putting your O on the line. This is about putting what you believe on the line. You think you can win? Step up in the big fight.
Let me try that again.
Message to all the fans watching it, wish them a Merry Christmas, and also why should they watch the fight?
You should watch this fight because this is what boxing's all about. This is about putting your O on the line. This is about putting what you believe on the line. You think you can win? Step up in the big fights and let's see it. You can talk the talk, but when the lights come on and you walk out the O2 Arena into a little ring 20 foot by 20 foot to fight another man, this is the pureness of the sport. Why boxing is the greatest sport in the world bar none. Let's build the hype, let's watch the excitement. tournament, and let's see the purity of British boxing explode and unfold February the 3rd, O2 Arena.
Thanks very much, Eddie Hearn.
Yo, Fight Doctor, man. Fight Doctor. You just came in at the end. You know what I mean? Is there anything you want to discuss, Fight Doctor? You could write in the chat. Anything you want to discuss real quick? Because I was about to bounce, bro. Because I run out of subject matter. Or Fight Doctor's shouting out. I think he's just shouting. I think maybe you're just listening, right? Yeah. Maybe he's just listening. I got Mr. Bashir might be coming on later on about Usyk, so I think that should be good. So, all right, Fight Doctor. You ain't got no comment. You guys take care. Peace.